Good morning, Lou.
Hi, Dick.
Hey, weren't you on vacation last week?
I was. Sure was.
So where'd you go?
We went down to Hilton Head.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So fun?
It was. It was hot as it could be.
Yeah,
but,
I'll bet.
Ooh, but the water was great, and we found some good restaurants, so we had fun.
Good, good. You know, I'm glad you're back, and I know we've been trying to get together for a while, and it's been so long I can't even remember what it was you wanted to see me about.
I had to think about it myself, but it's about our call center. I have an idea for a program. I've been meaning to do this for a really long time, and I read this article in an HR magazine about how important providing career paths is for folks and retaining employees. And I decided we really need to talk about it.
Okay, well, tell me about your idea.
Well, as you know, the call center is divided into 4 departments to handle all the incoming and outgoing calls. And it's a pretty demanding job. It gets repetitive and I'm sure even monotonous after a couple of years. So I thought we could have a 2-day workshop to generate awareness for all 450 employees and teach them what it is the other departments do. It might give them some sort of career path idea, especially if they can see an opportunity to move into one of the more lucrative selling jobs.
Okay, well, we can take a look at that. You mind if I ask you a few questions just for clarification?
Oh, no, I expected that, Dick.
Good, good. Can you tell me a little bit more about how the business is going? How are the customer service ratings, and how about those sales quotas?
Well, I didn't really expect that you would ask me that, but okay. The customer service ratings are actually going back up. So I think that the customer service training we did is working. And as far as sales quotas, they're not really as high as we'd like them to be, but these are tough times and our competitors are struggling too. So I guess we're doing about as well as we could be.
So overall, things are going pretty well.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to say that.
Okay. Well, let's get back to your concern over the career paths and your employee retention. Can you tell me a little bit about where your concern comes from and what you think we might want to do about it?
Well, our turnover's been pretty good, but I'm not sure how long that's going to last when employment gets better. Our people sit in their own cube and they tend to specialize in certain things. They get very good at those things, but I think there would be a lot to be gained if they had a little bit more of the big picture. I think that they might be able to see some other areas that they have interest in and eventually transfer to within the company instead of leaving and going to a competitor.
Okay, I see your point. Well, I'm glad to know that our last goal of improved customer service scores seems to be working. So I guess our goal now is to make sure those workers whose customer service skills we improved actually want to stay with us and not leave and go to our competitors, right?
That's it.
Okay. Just so we don't leave any opportunities on the table here, can you tell me if there's anything else that you might benefit by if your workers having this big picture of what's going on in the entire call center? How else could that help us?
I don't know. I was mostly reacting to that article that I read about retaining employees.
Well, let's look at what we know about the business so far, okay? We know that turnover rates are in the acceptable range. We know that our customer service scores are going in the right direction. And we know that sales aren't exactly where we want them to be, but we're pretty happy with them in the current business climate, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Well, can you think of any problems with the business results or any gaps in the performance of your workers that might also be addressed by everybody having the big picture, as you put it, of the call center?
Well, there is one thing that we still have a problem with, and it's really not service related. It's sort of an operational issue.
Okay, what's that?
Well, it's about handling exception items. Things that are just out of the ordinary that we don't do very often. no matter how many times we go over these things in training classes, by the time they actually have to do them, they've forgotten how to handle them. The problem is they kind of cross departmental lines, so they actually have to talk to people in other departments to resolve these things when they come up. If they knew more about what went on in those departments, I know we would spend less time in handling the exception item, and we'd probably waste less of our customers' time too.
Okay, well, I think we can do something about that.
You know, we should probably include some more training on handling exception items in the 2-day workshop. If we worked on it as a group, it might really help.
We could do that. But tell me, since I heard you say that we've gone over this issue several times in the training classes in the past, and people are still struggling with it, how do you think we could do it differently so that this time it works better?
Oh no, Dick, you're the training expert. I was hoping you could tell me.
Yeah, well, I guess there's some people around here who might think that. But could we say that for now, going over the handling of these exception items several times in training classes in the past hasn't really worked? So we probably need to try something different this time.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Okay, all right. So we can just say that we'll look into that one before we make any decisions. Okay?
Sure, that's
all
fine.
Right. So let's get back to the problems of the business results or any gaps in the performance of your workers. Can you think of anything else besides the problems with handling exception items?
No, nothing comes to mind right now, but last night I was working on a list of topics for that 2-day workshop, a content outline, and here, it might help you a little bit.
Okay. Well, this all looks like useful content. Let's go back to our shared goal for a minute. We wanted to provide some sort of career path so that our workers would want to move up within our organization, not out to a competitor organization. And we also identified a need to improve exception handling, and we're looking at a greater awareness of how all 4 departments will be able to accomplish these goals. Have I stated that correctly so far?
Yes, but you know, even though you stated the goal correctly, I'm beginning to question how the awareness of the big picture, as we put it, is going to achieve that. I guess I'm getting a little confused here. Where are we going with this?
Well, that's a good question, Lou. I'm not sure either, Lou. But I think if we could get a little more data, we might be able to find an answer. You know, with your permission, what I'd like to do next is interview each of the 4 department heads relative to our goal. I wouldn't probably need more than a half hour of their time each.
Sure, I think that's a great investment of their time.
Can you think of any other people I might talk to for more insight? Maybe some of your best performers, maybe some of your people who you think might be at risk of losing?
Of course, I think if I just reflect on this for a little time, I can give you